Hello, everyone. I'm Mitchell Ryan Darcy, and today is September 19th, Thursday. Point of reference for that is I'm about to go see Astra for the first time. The main reason I'm going just before opening day, I thought it was September 20th is opening day technically, but there are showings. I got the first showing of today for it. I don't know, but I do know apparently on Facebook from the ads I'm seeing is in participating locations you get a little, if you see it in IMAX, you get like a little IMAX patch thing that would go on like a space shoot or some sort of well, any jacket or whatever. So it's like I kind of really want that patch. And also maybe see the movie as well. That's kind of the bonus. I mean, that's the main reason why I am going, is just to get that patch. And then no, I'm just kidding. But this movie literally, and from my eyes, someone who's keeping an eye on the industry and all that, this movie came out of left field in the sense of trailers and all that. Like literally, I don't even remember what film I was seeing, but like all of a sudden there was this trailer showed, and it was the very first trailer for Ad Astra that they showed. And at first I'm like, oh, it's interesting. It's like a space movie, and then it's like with Brad Pitt. I'm like, well, I had never even heard of this film, and then it's like, and then it's like, the first trailer was so good of a trailer. I'm like, I really want to see this. It's like it has all the action stuff as, say, Gravity or maybe even Interstellar, but with the serious, what seems like low budget drama. I mean, it's not a diss saying it's low budget drama, but it has that feel of being the Academy Award winning sort of drama, like, which is so weird because I've never seen a movie balance it so well from just judging off of the trailer. So I'm kind of excited to see it. And then the more I thought about it, and I'm like seeing on the news, it's like TIFF, it's like, oh, this movie's getting rave reviews along with Joker and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, it's Brad Pitt is gonna, be nominated for best actor for this film and best supporting actor for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's like he's gonna win both, and it's like, oh, that would actually be cool, being the first actor to win both main and supporting in the same year. I don't think that's been done before. That would be actually kind of cool, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I feel like this movie's kind of on the verge of Interstellar, and I loved Interstellar. So a part of me, I guess, I know it's not gonna be Interstellar. I mean, it's just gonna be. I assume it's gonna be a very good space movie like Gravity, Interstellar, Moon. Anyone remembers that film with Sam Rockwell? Like that's the sort of vibe I'm getting, but it just, I want to see how the overall film works, because the trailer, it's like you start off with him in the space station, and it's like disaster. He survives that, which I thought was a little bit unbelievable in the first time seeing it, and I'm like, okay, he survives that. So, but then it's like there's this whole mystery around his father, and it's like, oh, you know, they need his help to save the world because something's happening, and his father might be involved. His father went like missing on a space expedition or something like that, so he has like a relation to the main plot. And it's like, I it just seems so intriguing, but at the same time, it's like there's a shot where it's like they're on like, I think, the moon or whatever, and they're in the rovers, and there's like alien blasters, so it's like there's like a shootout chase scene on the moon or something like that, or battle or whatever. And it's like it just, but then you see this really great cast: Liv Tyler, Donald Sutherland, Tommy Lee Jones, there was somebody else, I can't remember them off the top of my head. I mean, of course, Brad Pitt, but I forget who else. But like the cast, great cast. And then you got, from what I'm hearing, it's very serious action, but or serious. You got serious acting, award type, almost Oscar bait type acting, but it's like you got action scenes and stuff in space where it's like it just seems science fiction, absurd, not total fantasy like Star Wars, a little bit more grounded. So it's kind of, I guess more towards Moon and Interstellar. So it's like just enough realism, just enough serious, but and so I'm kind of excited. I'm excited just to see if it's anything, just an enjoyable film. That's what I'm hoping for. The film itself is only 2 hours long, so it's actually not that long a film. So I'm afraid the trailers might have shown a little too much, in the sense that the first trailer I thought was really, really good, but every time I went to the theater afterwards, it was always a newer trailer with more footage or a different edit of how to get people into the film. And it annoyed me because I'm like, okay, I'm already going to go see the film. I saw the first trailer, and the first trailer was actually pretty good. The other trailers that came afterwards, the second and third trailer, and I think the IMAX exclusive trailer, which played in front of it, it didn't look as good as a movie. And even the trailers themselves didn't seem at well compared to the very first Ad Astra trailer. So, anyways, I'm excited to see what this film ends up being. Time to go. Time to time to watch Ad Astra. That was interesting. Ad Astra, I just saw in IMAX, and it is okay, I guess. I mean, it definitely, the movie itself, I didn't find anything wrong with it. It's just, it's pretty bland of a space movie. Like, it definitely is more on the drama side than the sort of action side, and I don't mind that, because really the only only real thing I got out of this is the cast did a great performance. The script, in the terms of dialogue, wasn't bad, and the story itself wasn't bad. It wasn't done bad. It was technically, for a low budget space film, it was practically flawless from beginning to end. It did lots of, not lots, but like a decent amount of interesting things, in terms of like, for example, there's one scene early on in the film where Brad Pitt gets out of bed and his wife, or ex-wife, is in the frame, and then as camera sort of zooms a bit towards Brad Pitt very slowly, she fades away and it's just an empty bed. So it's like, it does do some interesting things in terms of camera work and all that, and it I just don't know what about. I don't know. I found this movie really quite bland. It was intriguing, the plot of, he has to go go find his father, and it's like the whole space and the government thing over it. Like, I don't want to I'm gonna do my best to absolutely not spoil it or anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's it was okay. There was nothing. I was a bit bored with the movie, and like, this movie, I don't think, I'm like thinking back, it's like, do I ever want to rewatch this? And then the thing is, before I get into it, I might as well show you the main reason I went to go. I got a little badge thing. Is there a light? Yeah, light. I don't know if you can see that. Ad Astra IMAX crew. Look at that. amazing. Space operation. Little patch thing. It says it is a sticky thing. I was actually kind of hoping. I mean, it still looks like. I guess they gave the option of sticky. I don't think I'm gonna take this out of the package, but limited edition. No, just kidding. It's this collectible patch, but I guess you could still use it as an actual patch. It's a little smaller than what I thought it would be, but for something free added on to get people in to see the movie, it's okay. It worked. It got me to see it on practically opening day, if not opening whatever. Anyways, so like I guess trying to say, I mean, the performances are really the only thing that, like, if I'm gonna ever rewatch this movie, it's the performances, and some of the interesting, like, not timbits, but there's some plot details in this movie that are sort of the mythology or the thing, the story behind the lore of the movie, where it's taking place. It's like it starts off with a Blade Runner style, um, in the future, and it's like explains a bit of it, and it's like, but it's so vague as well that, you know, it leaves a little more to the imagination, which is kind of cool. Like the moon scene, which you see in the trailer of, you know, there's like the laser battle or something, and it's like, not saying anything about the specifics of the scene, for spoiler's sake, but it was entertaining to watch and all that, and the mystery behind it. But it's just, I found I guess the lore, and it's like, I found the lore more interesting than what was being shown story-wise for this film. With, you know, resources and all that, and, you know, there was things where it was brushed over, but I was like, oh, I wanted to know more about that. I wanted to know why why things are like this, you know. I like, it's stuff like that. And so we're sort of forced to go along with Brad Pitt to find his father, sort of thing. And there, I mean, even in the trailers, it definitely seemed like this was the kind of movie that there was going to be maybe some grand twist or anything. Well, I can't talk about if there's a twist or not, because if I say there's a twist, then that would spoil it for people. And if I say there's no twist, that would be a spoiler, because people would be like, oh, there's no twist. So I can't say anything. Well, this is stupid. You know, screw it. I'm gonna spoil this movie, okay? So be warned. I thought it was okay. I'll probably pick it up eventually. Probably wait for it to be cheap. Brad Pitt probably gonna win an Oscar. I can definitely see the other cast members being nominated for their performances in this for supporting. The one actress, I forgot the name early on, was Ruth Negga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's really all I know her from. But now she's in this movie, so good that her career is definitely going off, because she's a great actress. But yeah, spoiler wise, it's like, where I was going. So it's like, I don't know, it's like rival fractions or whatever, but like war. Like, for example, it's like when they're visiting the moon. So it's like, it was interesting that it's like, oh, okay, so we're at the point where the moon is almost like a travel destination on Earth. Like if I was going to Jamaica or something, it's like you get there, and, you know, but there's, well, maybe not Jamaica, I've never been there, but like well, I don't know. It's, you could tell it's been, you know, there's gift shops and all that. It's basically a tourist destination at this point, and it's sort of, it was neat, and like, it just, I don't know. It's like they're like, when they're going to get to the, I think, another place or whatever, they get attacked on the moon by, like, you know, space pirates. I guess we'll call them space pirates, because it wasn't really, you know, clarified or anything. Just that, they I guess, food supplies and stuff or whatever scarce on the moon, I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, twist wise, it's like this is the kind of movie where you're like, it's sci-fi, space, original. There's got to be something big, and it's not really a twist per se. Like the when you finally, it's like after getting through this movie of because you're basically going off of like, I want to know why his father's doing that, or if he is doing that, or whatever. And it's like you finally get there, you confront the father and all that, and it's like, I mean, it was still bad, still morally gray and all that, but like it's wasn't really his fault or anything. They were doing their job, and it's still bad, but like it wasn't sort of his fault that the Earth was getting attacked by the like surge of electricity or whatever that kept happening now and then um towards the Earth. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so I guess anticlimactic would be the case, but there wasn't really much momentum movie wise, I felt, to like, okay, so the question is like, oh, is his father still alive? Is he out there? What is he doing? That's really the thing that's getting you through the movie. Other than if you're excluding the acting. The acting is forgot to turn that off. The acting is great, but the thing is, it's like, and I loved Brad Pitt's character. I loved what they were trying to like. I don't know if they were trying to do, but the whole thing of, he's very calm as a person, even though in situations where any normal human being would generally be like, or afraid, cautious, trembling maybe a bit, anxiety or whatever. Um, and he's fine. Like his heart rate is beyond normal. It's beyond normal, and all that. And it's like, it is a very interesting character. Um, I loved his thought process with the narration. It just makes you think of certain things, just the way he is and all that. And I like that. That was probably favorite part of the film was narration. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those movies where it's like, it's not about getting there, it's about the journey, but even the journey there was kind of eh. Um, and it's like, what kind of message this movie's trying to say? Is trying to say I think this movie was going for a more meaning of life type answer, where it's like there is really no answer. Things just happen, stuff like that. And it's okay. It's a very like, this movie was definitely more of a moon type movie than a interstellar type movie. It's not a first man movie. It's not a message from space movie. Like it's there's I don't know what I would change about this movie to make it better, but it's just to me it was very bland. It's by a technicality, I would say it's the worst space related movie I've seen. Especially like everything. It's like I can tell this movie was inspired by all the more recent films in the sense of like Gravity, um, Interstellar, and movies like that. And it's like Moon probably had an influence as well. But like it's definitely an original film, but it just overall by the end of it, I felt this was more of an Oscar bait type film than an actual decent film. Like 2001: Space Odyssey. I can always rewatch that movie, and I'm like, the way the shots are, the music, and all that. Oh, and don't even get me started music on this film. Uh, which I will. But like this movie, I felt like watching it once, I'm like, I absorbed basically the entire movie. I there's no reason for me to watch it again. There's no, I guess the narration makes it have a little bit more of a double meaning if you watch it just, Brad Pitt's acting. But that's about it. Like it bugs me because like I remember when as soon as the movie ended, somebody in the audience or whatever was like, "Well, that was stupid." Like like it just felt anticlimactic, I guess. I mean, I thought the only stupid thing I felt was the father. Um, all of a sudden, it's like he's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just float off and die. Okay, so let me go." And when he decides to do that and all that, like it's and how they did that, it's like it's a little too on the nose where it's like, oh, you need to let him go, but like, as far as he was concerned up until the beginning of the film, it's like, oh, it's his father's dead. He's always been dead. It wasn't until the government told him, hey, he's actually alive and is probably causing this commotion or whatever. It's weird, grounded enough, but I don't know. It's like, and so it's like, so the music is definitely like all the space movies I've ever seen. The music standard out in some way, some form. Was either iconic or extremely amazing score. Like First Man, the moon landing scene, such a weird take of a score for space movies. Moon, I remember with Sam Rockwell, the music in that was like unique. It stood out. 2001: Space Odyssey, its use of the classic opera music and that sound effect building up, or it's not a song, I don't know. Anyways, Message from Space had the rip-off Star Wars type theme almost. Interstellar has Hans Zimmer's brilliant score. I can't stop listening to that. But this movie was original score was done by Max Richter, and I know him from On the Nature of Daylight song from the Shutter Island soundtrack, and I think he did the song that appeared in the trailer for J. Edgar. I think it's November, something November. It's been a long time since I've heard that song. He's a good composer. He can definitely do really good music, but in this film, I don't know if maybe they left out the good score or they were like, oh, let's use the more subtle score moments. Like there's nothing to me that really stands out score wise in this film. Like there was the narration and the acting was doing most of the heaviness for this film and carrying the film basically. It's just, I don't know, maybe I guess it's overhyped, and I guess I'll call this it's an Oscar bait film that actually really feels like an Oscar bait film. Nothing special I felt came out of this, except for one thing which I thought was probably my best, the out of everything to take away from this film, the one thing that I thought was really, really good, that I was like, well, this specific moment was the point for this movie to exist, is the part where he's like, Brad Pitt's narrating how just as he's getting back to the ship, I think he said, he was talked about how his father's data, and they showed him collecting the data in front of the father, and he's talking, the father does a little speech thing or whatever, but he says, narration wise, Brad Pitt, it's like all the worlds that he saw and discovered, but he didn't all the beautiful worlds and all that, but they were only looking for signs of life, but they were missing all this stuff that was in front of them, which was the planets themselves, the beauty of how these things were created and all that, and they're so different, each one's unique, and it's like, and there's like, he missed what was right in front of him, and it's like, wow, that was for me the only real payoff of the whole movie. And it was showing, just, it felt like almost still images. It was probably moving, but because of space it was slow. I assume I was looking at the credits, NASA, they did the telescope They did like a lot of the planets and stuff is taken. It seemed like it's actual footage of the planet, but or recreated as if it was shot from using NASA's actual photos and all that. That's what it felt like. And it was seamless because as far as I'm concerned, I actually thought this was all, CGI, all special effects, but it looks like they did actually use reference photos and all that, especially in that one part where it was showing the different planets or whatever that's out there. So, that was I felt was the best part of the thing. Getting to it, it wasn't a slog or anything. It's just there was just enough interest to keep me in there, but at the same time, I'm like, it's the kind of movie where it's like, but why? But why? And I'll probably pick this movie up on Blu-ray, but I'm gonna definitely wait for it to be cheap. Probably be nominated. Brad Pitt is probably definitely the sure, the one sure thing this movie will probably win. I'll be surprised if this movie is nominated for Best Picture. It just depends what else it's running up against. Once again, this is early awards season, Oscar bait films. From here on out, it's definitely going to be a lot more of those coming out. Joker, Hustlers, all the talked about films, Jojo Rabbit and all that. Don't know what I'm actually going to review wise. In case you didn't realize, there's been a lot of movies this year that I've decided not to do a review and you can see why, because I just rant about it. Not really. At this point, I'm like, there's other people on YouTube doing much better reviews and all that, and so they have probably more important things to say about the things, and this is just my opinion of what I just saw. So there you go, reaction. Ad Astra. What did you think of the movie Ad Astra? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I want you to have a nice day or night or whatever time you watch this. Have a nice whatever. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Bye. Check out my other stuff if you want. It's entirely up to you.